Hello Friendos, welcome to today's video. I am so enthusiastic to get started today because today we will be reviewing the Lorac Fairytale Forest palette. So you guys know this is not my usual color story. However, I have been wanting to try a Lorac palette for about 2 years now. They have not come out with anything that has remotely wowed me ever since their Pirates of the Caribbean collab, which honestly, that was probably one of my most used palettes of all time. All the colors were so special and very original for the time that it came out. That palette is old now. It's no longer up to its original quality. I still hold on to it in my collection, but yeah, I can't use it anymore. Like I said, this is the first time they've come out with a color story that I was really intrigued by, and I thought for a more neutral tone palette, this one was just gorgeous. I'm not going to prolong my introduction any longer. Let's just get into it. Oh, I think I hear my theme music playing. Let's just go along and swatch 3 at a time. This way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. All right, let's get going. The first 3 going left to right in the palette. Top row. All right, so the third one is just not showing up. I'm gonna try to re-swatch that. I can barely pick this up on my finger. Going in with the next 3. Those are swatching very light and patchy as well. I don't have a good feeling about this, you guys. All right, so those were all mattes. The next row is more shimmery, except for the one on the end. So let's see. All right, these feel nice. These definitely feel nice as I'm dipping my fingers into the pans. Okay, so this one right here, that one right there did not swatch very good. Like it was just okay. The middle row, I guess I would say the last 3 have just been fine. The more coppery looking one looks pretty good. Now for these 3 right here, let's see how they do. Okay, so this one looks like it's supposed to maybe be a lid topper. It's very diaphanous. This one is like an antique gold. It's swatched really pretty. And then the matte shades swatched just okay. Better than these, but still not the best matte I've ever swatched. Okay, now we're going in for the bottom row. It's gonna be these 3 right here. Doing this on my other arm because I've kind of run out of space. I'm not the best at making sure that I space out all my swatches properly, so I frequently have to switch arms when I do this. These 2 look fantastic. This one right here, lackluster. Let's see if we can build it up. Okay, it can be built up. And then we have the final 3 on the bottom row. Okay, those came out very nice. Don't really have an issue with those. So Friendos, what do you say we get started and just try out a look? All right, so I'm gonna get started with the more mauve shade right here. Going in with a crappy Anastasia brush. Making some circular motions. It's blending out okay. It's not that pigmented, but it's not the worst matte I've ever used by far. If you guys have ever wondered why I only do one eye at a time, my sister is normally the one to edit my videos, and she has this rule that I'm only allowed to do one eye at a time, so it's less for her to edit. So I was thinking the other day, wouldn't it be great if I was a Cyclops? Think of all the time that I would save because I would only have to do one eye, and then she would save on editing. And then imagine the views, girl. Like, can you imagine if I just had that one big eye, how many people would tune in to watch me cake up makeup on that eye? Should have been born a Cyclops. So that shade's down. I want to go in with the more orangey shade. I'm going in on my Rephr 14. I do try to warn you guys that whenever I'm doing a first look video, like in a review video, The look that I do isn't always the prettiest or the most snatched look ever. It's just a test of shadows, so I'm trying to use as many as I can at one time. Now on top of where I just placed these two shades, I'm going to blend in the more mauve-y looking shade with this kind of camel looking shade right here. And I know I'm going kind of crazy and going up high. We can clean all this up later. And believe me, I will before I finish out the look. It's coming off really cool toned. Like, that's the one thing that I'm getting from this. Even though the color story looks fairly neutral, everything on my eye is looking more on the cool toned end of things. Now on an LR008, we'll go in with this corner shade. We're gonna go in with the amethyst shade here on my units 202. This isn't showing up the best, and it's got a very brown undertone. It's not that sparkly. I'm a little bit disappointed. Okay, next let's try out the copper shade. It too is really not showing up, and that's kind of disappointing because the shade, I believe, swatched pretty well on my arm. Showing up okay. All right, let's try wetting the brush. Good news is there's not a lot of fallout happening, but at the same time, I really want some color payoff. Okay, we're getting some now that I've sprayed the brush. I'm gonna try that in the amethyst shade as well to see if that helps. Probably will. Yeah, I did. It still isn't the most purpley amethyst shade. Like, it definitely looks more like of a mauve purple shade in the pan. On the eye, it really just kind of looks brown. Next, I'm gonna go in with the pinky shade here. I told you this one looked more like a topper. Let's see if we can build it up. So I think it's actually building up really nicely. This shade is a stunner. I don't know if it's translating the same on camera as what it looks like in front of my mirror, but this shade is next level gorgeous in my mirror right now. It's like pink, gold, and pearl. So let's try out another one of the matte shades. Let's go in with this one right here. This is on an LR100 underneath the lash line. Okay, that one is going on nicely and pigmented. Okay, and then I'm going to use a lighter shade, the one in the corner here. Same brush on the inner part of my lower lash line. I'll just kind of meld those two together, taking it a little bit down just to have a smokier eye. Woo! That powder kick up is real in my eye right now. All right, I'm gonna clean up the outer edge of what I put down before because it's just looking murky and crap, if I'm being honest. Some of that is the fault of me. I did take it up a little bit higher than what I initially intended to, but also I feel like this can happen a lot if I'm trying to work with a balance of warm and cool tones and then it all just turns to cool tones. So let me clean up this muddy mess. I'll add liner and lashes and I'll be right back. Friendos, I'm back, and boy do I have some thoughts. So the first thing that I want to share with you guys is this eyeshadow palette irritated the crap out of my eyes. I ended up having to go in with Lumify. I know the whites of my eyes look pretty pearlescent right now, but let me tell you, a few minutes ago, that was not the case. I practically started crying at one point. Like, my eyes were just tearing up so badly. And it's weird because I don't normally have eye irritation with palettes, so I did not think that Lorac was made in China, but apparently this particular palette was. China's not the safest place to buy makeup from, in my opinion, so I don't know. This one just really irritated my eyes, and like I said, I am accustomed to like Anastasia, Beverly Hills, and Jeffree Star palettes. I know they irritate some people's eyes, but they don't irritate mine. This did. I'm not sure what's going on with it. So another thing that I want to say is when I went to do this eye, it was so much easier to blend out and get pigmentation than when I did this one. I'm thinking that there might be a bit of a hard pan on these shadows that could be scraped off, and maybe they would perform more optimally. This palette is only $35. I bought it from Ulta. It's not that big of a palette, so just so you can see compared to my hand, this would fit in any sort of travel bag. And I gotta say, I think these shadows are pretty travel safe because the box that this came in was super busted. And I thought for sure that this palette was just going to be crumbled and done. But it was, it survived the trip to my home. I honestly think that that's all I have to offer you guys for today. I know that this isn't going to be a complete review because there's a lot of shadows in this palette. Clearly, I wasn't able to use them all in one sitting. I may play with this some more. I don't know if I will on my channel. I kind of don't want my eyes to be tearing up and me being ticked off the whole time while I'm trying to work with this. So I might work with this some more off camera and then let you guys know how it went, if my eyes still got irritated or if this was just some sort of weird anomaly. I will get back to you guys on that. But I think I'm going to call it here for today. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me watching this review. Please let me know if you have tried Lorac in the last 2 years and what your experience has been with the shadows. Overall, these were, in a word, inconsistent, and so I'm not really comfortable recommending this palette. Again, especially because the eye irritation thing, that was really rough. Just being real. If you haven't done so already, I hope you give this video a big thumbs up. It really does help me to grow my channel. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. We have a lot of fun here. I'm very blunt with all of my reviews. I am honestly brutal. I mean, brutally honest. And I would love to see you in the next one. But should you choose not to subscribe, we shall forever live our lives in darkness, never knowing what could have been. All right, guys. Bye.